So yesterday we talked about Eric Trump crying like a baby on Fox News because he and his daddy are going to prison. But a new clip also from Fox shows that Trump Jr. did the same thing, this time with Tucker Carlson.
You know, I'm not. That doesn't surprise me. I think Donald Trump has sort of, the Trump derangement syndrome has brought out the worst in all of the other side. But it is unprecedented. And again, it's going on in America today. And I think what people have to understand, if you can go after a former president, target them for years, imagine what they could do to the regular person. We've seen sort of the corruption at the highest levels of the FBI over the last few years. You've seen them target, anyone who was anywhere even remotely near the East Coast on January 6th is being targeted, that there is no way to appeal it. There is no way to stop the nonsense. In New York, crime is going through the roof. Taxes are going to go through the roof. Property values are going down. Murder rates are skyrocketing. And yet, rather than using taxpayer dollars to actually go and solve those issues, to prevent the degeneration of New York even further, they're going to continue to spend those taxpayer dollars targeting their enemies.
And so you can hear it's the same hits, it's the same beat, it's the same rhythm. Everyone's unfair to me. Everyone's unfair to my dad. He sounds a little less whiny than Eric, but it's the same message. And one thing I really want to underline to you is that they have no actual defense for the claims against them, the corporation, and their father. They have none. What they say is a blanket, we've done nothing wrong, and then two, what about all these other crimes? Whether it's Hunter Biden or Joe Biden, or they'll say, oh, in New York, they have all these other crimes. Why are they focusing on me and my family business? But that's not a legal defense. There are many prosecutors in New York that have different responsibilities. Just because they're looking into you, it doesn't mean that they wouldn't be looking into another crime. Tax forensic lawyers and prosecutors can't just be shifted immediately over to look at other sorts of more direct crime. They just can't do that. People are trained for specific types of analysis and investigation. And so just because Cy Vance Jr. and just because Letitia James are investigating Trump Jr. and Eric and Ivanka and Dawn and the family business doesn't mean that that's necessarily taking away from other crimes. But even if it was, that's not an excuse. You're under investigation because you deserve to be. And he says it like, oh, they're doing this to Trump so they could do it to anyone. But the reality is they're only doing this to Trump because the evidence is overwhelming. When Tucker Carlson says basically in that interview, this is unprecedented, it is for a reason, because other presidents have done shady things in both parties. But it's never been so blatantly criminal that an investigation had to happen. The political system would love to allow Trump to get away with it. They really would. We have to be honest with ourselves. The rich and wealthy and well-connected stick together regardless of party. But Donald Trump's crimes are so massive and his family's crimes are so massive they can't be ignored. One thing I'll say about all of this is I think Ivanka's in trouble too, but Ivanka seems to be smarter than her dumb brothers because she doesn't go on Fox News every week to advertise their criminality and to whine about it like a baby. Maybe she's getting ready to flip on them because she doesn't want to go to jail, but I don't know if Don Jr. and Eric got the memo.